It's Wednesdays with Wade. San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips joins the Blitz every Wednesday for an inside look at your San Antonio Brahmas. Now, here's the Blitz with Wade Phillips.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix, live out at the Big Blind at 281 and at Redland Road. But it's Wednesday. That means Wednesdays with Wade, the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. Wade Phillips joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line a little earlier than normal. I guess weather is playing havoc with your practice situation today, huh, Wade?
Yes, it is. It's raining here, so we have to go indoors, and so we couldn't get in until about 5 o'clock. So it changed our schedule a little bit, but we still get to practice, so that's what we're looking forward to.
Well, we appreciate you adjusting your schedule and getting on with us a little bit early. And why not, Wade? You guys are 2-0. That's got to feel pretty good.
It does. It does. We've got a lot of things to work on, obviously, and clean up some things, but it's a lot easier to do when you're 2-0 rather than 0-2.
I know it's a coaching cliche, Coach, but you look at that game last week on the road in Memphis, and so many coaches say there's such improvement from week 1 to week 2. But for most of the game last week, week 2, it wasn't pretty for your Brahmas, but you come away with a win. So you get a win, but you got a lot on tape that you got to clean up and coach the guys up on, right?
Yeah, it's good to win those games, like I said, because it's easier to clean up some things when you win than it is when you lose. So everybody has a positive attitude. We certainly came back and proved that we have a lot of heart as a team. And I think that's to know that they can do that, I think will help us the rest of the year too.
Coach, can you give us an update on your kicker? My goodness, we heard about that, and obviously a pretty bad injury. Is he doing okay? Is he going to be all right?
No, we had to put him on injury reserve. He's not very good, not very big. And so he's a great little kicker, but he's not very big, and he went ahead and he did make a tackle on the kickoff, which he wouldn't have done, but anyway, he's out for the season. So it's a shame because he's leading the league in kickoff distance, and that's a key stat for our league because we kick off from the 20-yard line.
So when you look at that play, at what point did he realize he hurt himself, fractured his neck a bit? Because he makes the tackle, and I thought it was a hell of a tackle for any player, let alone being a kicker. He got up, he was jawing with the guy, and then got to the sideline and said, that kind of hurt? When did he realize he had actually hurt himself making that big play?
Yeah, I think it was right after that. The adrenaline when he hit the guy, he got excited, but yeah, the pain came pretty quick after that.
Well, it's just one of those things, man. You got to admire a guy, though, even a kicker who wants to get in there. I mean, you know as well as anybody, Coach, that kickers don't get a lot of respect sometimes. They're not, so he gets in there and wants to be a real football player.
Yeah, some people don't call them football players, but they're obviously really important, especially field goal kickers that extra point field goal kickers that make points for you.
So who's the new kicker?
We got a guy named Ryan Santos who's played in the NFL. He's actually a big guy. He's got a really strong leg also. And so we feel like, he's going to do a good job for us. But we got to get kicking this week, so we're indoors today. You're not going to do much kicking indoors.
Well, now, with him, do you either get him like a linebacker's type helmet, or does he just have a rule, you don't go make a tackle?
Yeah, he's actually, pretty big. I think he's about 6'4", about 200-some pounds. So, no, I don't want my kicker to get hurt no matter what. I mean, the other guy's job is to tackle him on the kickoff, not a kicker's to kick it down there and place it in the right place.
Wade, when you look at the season, obviously it's still just getting underway, 2 games into this thing. But you guys, TV-wise, have had a tough time. Easter Sunday, and then last week with the Final Four and the women playing and all that. But the TV ratings are still holding their own. You guys have to feel pretty good about the brand of football that you're putting on the field. I mean, not just the Brahmas, but league-wide.
Yeah, I think overall, what I see and what we played, the 2 games we played have been good ball games with some really good plays in the game. I mean, part of football is or good football is being able to make the plays that we made during the game, and our guys have consistently done that.
Yeah, Chase Garber's in the offense, and for them to come on late the way they did after struggling for so much of the game, how much confidence does that give you as a coaching staff and, say, Chase as a quarterback and the offensive guys going into this week's game against St. Louis is, yeah, we didn't play well, but, man, when we had to make plays, we made the plays we had to make?
Yeah, that's like I say, I think that gives you a lot of confidence as a group and as a team that you can come back under pressure situations. The good teams play really well under pressure, and that separates, to me, that separates a good team and an average team is how they play under pressure. And so if our guys can keep playing that way, I think we'll be in great shape. Now, Chase, he's hit over 70% of passes. He's the leading passer in the league in the 2 games. So I think he started out really well. And he's thrown 5 touchdown passes and scored 1 himself. So he's the highest scoring player in the league.
Wade, he may be one of the players that I'm talking about, but 2 games in, and really we talked about this at the beginning of the season. You really don't know exactly what you have until you get them out there and see what they are on the field. When you look at your team 2 games in, do you feel like they're developing quicker than maybe you thought or about on par?
Well, you always have high expectations, but I think they're on the right path. I mean, again, we've got some things we got to clean up that we can get better, but also we have the opportunity to make offensively and defensively spectacular plays. I think we lead the league in tackles for loss on defense. We're second in sacks. So I mean, we're a real aggressive team, offensively and defensively, and I like that about them. And I think we'll keep getting better.
Wade Phillips joining us here on the Blitz, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. Brahmas 2-0 on the year, back home this Sunday in the Alamo Dome. 2:30 is the kickoff. It's against St. Louis, a team that put 40,000 in their building last week. San Antonio wants to up that, so there is a buy one, get one offer. Promo code LUCKY when you get your tickets at theufl.com. How big is it for you guys as a team, for your coaching staff, talking about it with your players, to come to the Alamo Dome on Sunday and see a packed stadium versus kind of the light crowd that you guys were in front of last week in Memphis?
Well, it's the crowd makes a difference. The home crowd makes a difference. Whatever sport you're in, it makes a difference. So we want everybody to jump on the bandwagon. We got 2 for 1, so it gives a lot more people opportunity to come see us play. And I know they'll really enjoy it. We've got a fun team to watch. If you've seen the first 2 games on television, so come see us play.
Well, and you're playing St. Louis this week, Coach. What kind of problems do they pose for you guys?
Well, I think everybody knows A.J. McCarron, the name, who played at Alabama, played well in this league last year. They've got most of the same players they had last year, kind of like D.C. when we played them the first game. They had their whole team coming back, and they had a pretty good team last year. Just them playing together. I still think our team is melding together because we hadn't played together the 2 games. So hopefully we'll get better and better. But they're going to be a challenge. We know that, and the home crowd, can make the difference.
When you're playing a quarterback like A.J. McCarron, who played big-time college football, has been in the NFL, has opted to play in the spring league as opposed to hold a clipboard at the NFL so his kids can watch him play. But an experienced quarterback like that has seen so much, it's hard to fool a quarterback like that. Does that, as a defensive-minded coach, present additional challenges this week that maybe some other quarterbacks in the UFL don't?
Yeah, he does. He knows where to go with the football when he sees what you're in. We disguise our coverages pretty well. Will Reed does a great job of that, always has as a defensive coordinator. So we're going to try to give him some problems there. But I think the big thing is pressure. No matter what quarterback it is, if he's a really good quarterback, pressure still bothers him. So that's what we're going to try to do. We've got a good front four that I think will give them pressure, and that'll be a difference on defense certainly.
Wade, I've got to ask you, you're a defensive guy and obviously watch the defense closely. And what is your favorite thing about the defense? You like to see a sack, a pick, a fumble recovery? Do you have a favorite?
No, I mean, all of it's my favorite. I will say this now, out of the 7 top tacklers in the league, 4 of them are on our team. So our 2 safeties and our two linebackers are both in the top 7 in tackles. So they fly to the football. That's what I really like to see, is our guys flying around to the football, playing with their hair on fire and whatever you want to call it. We've got a group that does that, and I'm proud to be a part of that.
All right, now Wade, as you look at that as fans, a lot of times we judge a defensive player based on the sacks that they get, even if they're getting double or triple teamed, and that might open it up for somebody else to get a sack. When you're watching film, you're grading tape, what are things that a guy like you, a defensive genius, a guru, what do you look at to determine whether a player had a great game defensively, stuff that doesn't necessarily show up on a stat sheet? Educate us a little bit, Coach.
Well, it's normally making plays, but it's really one-on-one. If you beat your man one-on-one, you cover your man one-on-one, you make tackles one-on-one, if you're all over the field. And sometimes it's just pressuring the quarterback and not necessarily getting a sack every time, but how much pressure you put on the quarterback, especially a guy like McCarron. If you can bother him, that's a key for you. So I just like to see him making good plays and beat the guy they're playing against.
Well, Wade, having said that, and you mentioned your defensive guys and tops in the league, have you got a guy that and I know it's only been 2 games, but a guy that maybe gets double teamed a time or two? Do you have a player like that really draws the attention of the offense?
Well, when they look at our tape, I think they will do that. I think Wyatt Ray, our defensive end, has really shown out the first 2 games as a pass rusher. So I'm sure they'll be chipping on him or doubling him some, because he's if you put him one-on-one, he's going to beat you. So, and we have our inside guys. Patton is really he was an XFL player last year that was all XFL in the inside. And he gets double teamed a lot, but he gives you a lot of pressure up to Savion Patton. So we've got some guys that can get after the passer. We just put them in passing situations and get after them.
San Antonio Brahmas head coach Wade Phillips joining us here on the Blitz, as he will every Wednesday during the UFL season. We call it Wednesdays with Wade. So it's week 2 coming into week 3. Over the first 2 weeks, Coach, we've had the trick play where you had a punter throw it to your center for a touchdown. Last week, you had to execute the UFL version of an onside kick successfully. Did that, got the game-winning touchdown. What do we have on tap trick-wise here coming up for St. Louis? It's just us talking, so you could give us a little bit of insight onto the trick plays in this week's game plan.
Well, we always have them. That's I think it's got to be part of what you work on, because there are situations that come up that, whether it's special teams or offense, and even defensively, some of your blitzes you change up that they're not ready for. So it's just things that they may not be ready for on on offense, defense, or special teams. So we always have something that we worked on. We don't always use them, but usually it's team specific. You know, we'll have certain things for the St. Louis this week that we won't have the next week because of personnel.
All right, Wade, I've got to ask you a question. We're out here at the Big Blind doing our show live. It's a poker house. Are you a poker player?
Well, I think I am, but sometimes I lose my money thinking that too.
I mean, he obviously just didn't answer the trick play question. He's got a good poker face. I mean, I expect to see the left tackle pass this week, Coach.
Yeah, right, something.
There you go. No, I like to play Texas Hold'em. Yeah, that's fun.
Well, I'm going to play in a tournament here tonight after the show, Coach. Any advice you want to give me?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it's usually to bet it all the first hand and see what happens. You know, if you win that, then if you can double your money early, you can win a tournament. But if you just kind of plod along, they're going to drain you usually.
See that now? That's coaching right there. That's coaching, and I can take it, Coach.
Double your money early, and that, or you're at the bar, or you're going to be playing and you're going to win the whole thing and buying for everybody. That's great advice from Coach Wade Phillips.
Great advice.
Coach, good luck this week against St. Louis. Appreciate you on a day where, things are in flux, and obviously, Mother Nature says you've got to adjust your schedule of keeping this on your schedule. We certainly appreciate you doing that, Coach. Good luck this week, and we'll see you Sunday in the Dome.
Yeah, come see us play. You'll enjoy it. Thanks.
Absolutely. Again, I bought my tickets the other day, the buy one, get one free offer. The UFL for tickets, theufl.com, promo code LUCKY. Buy one, get one free. And the Dome this Sunday, 2:30 is going to be a lot of fun. Wade Phillips joining us here on the Blitz on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.